Hello, and welcome to Lowlight Stories. I'm truly glad you're here with me right now. Wherever you're listening from, whether you're in a familiar room or somewhere new, let this moment be a gentle permission to pause. There is nothing you need to finish, nothing you need to solve. This time is only for rest. Before we begin our story, take a moment to soften your body. Adjust your position in any way that feels most comfortable. Perhaps the pillow beneath your head, the blanket over your shoulders, or simply the way your legs are resting. And when you're ready, you may gently close your eyes. Now, bring your attention to your breathing. There's no need to change anything. Just notice the air moving in and moving out again. And if it feels comfortable, allow your breath to slow down a little. Breathe in softly and breathe out slowly and gently. Let the exhale last just a little longer than the inhale. With every breath out, imagine your body becoming heavier, fully supported by the bed beneath you. Shoulders relaxing, jaw unclenching, your face growing softer. If your mind is busy tonight, that's completely normal. You don't have to push thoughts away. Let them drift by like faint clouds in a faraway sky, and then return kindly to your breath. Remember, tension about not sleeping only makes us more awake. Sleep arrives more easily when we stop trying to force it. Right now, resting is enough. And as you listen, if your attention begins to blur, if you miss a few details or forget where the story is, that's perfectly okay. In fact, that's often a sign that sleep is gently drawing closer. Tonight, I'll share a slow, soothing retelling of a familiar fairy tale. A story with no urgency, no sharp edges, only soft images and quiet spaces. To help your mind feel safe, calm, and sleepy. So take one more gentle breath in and let it melt away. Slowly. Imagine yourself stepping away from the weight of the day and into a world where time moves more slowly. A world of candlelight, silent corridors, and old stories whispered into the night. There's nothing else you need to do. Just let yourself drift. And now, let's step into the fairy tale world of Beauty and the Beast. A story as old as time, retold here to guide you into deeper rest and, in time, into sleep. Long ago, in a peaceful land, there lived a merchant named Marcus. For many years, Marcus's family lived in comfort and steady abundance. His ships sailed often, carrying valuable goods across the sea and returning with holds full and heavy. His children grew up in a spacious home, surrounded by finely made furniture, beautiful clothing, and the easy rhythm of a life that never seemed to lack anything. But fortune does not always stay. One season, Marcus's ships did not return. News from the sea grew unclear and then disappeared altogether. Waiting stretched from week into week until Marcus had to face the truth. Everything he had built had been swallowed by the wave. To pay his debts, he began selling the things that once made the house feel grand. Carved tables, thick rugs, the carriage that once carried the family through town. One by one, they were gone. At last, the family left their familiar home and moved to a small cottage at the edge of a village, a place without servants, without luxury, without ease. Each child reacted differently. The sons and the two older daughters were frustrated and unhappy. They had grown used to being served, used to days that passed without work. Now, even the simplest tasks, cooking, cleaning, lighting the fire, felt awkward and irritating to them. They complained, compared the present to the past, and waited for a miracle that would restore everything. Only the youngest daughter was different. Her name was Elena. Elena was younger than the others, yet she carried a gentle steadiness that seemed rare. She did not complain. She did not blame fate. When she saw the new cottage empty and cold, she quietly rolled up her sleeves and began to learn. She learned to cook, even if the early meals were simple. She learned to sew, to garden, to care for the small chickens behind the house. Every day, Elena did one small thing, something gentle and useful to make the cottage feel warmer, more alive. At first, the villagers looked at Marcus's family with caution, but soon they noticed Elena. They saw the young girl asking questions with humility, listening carefully, working patiently, never ashamed to admit what she didn't know. Little by little, caution became kindness. The villagers grew fond of Elena, not only because she worked hard, but because she lived with sincerity. Quietly, Elena became the steady center of the household. While the others kept staring back toward what they had lost, Elena learned how to live gently inside what remained. And though no one could see it yet, that quiet strength was already shaping a path that would lead her somewhere unexpected. Time passed in the small cottage at the village's edge. Days slipped by in a simple rhythm. Marcus often left early, searching for a way to rebuild his trade, even though, deep down, he knew how fragile that hope might be. Then, one morning, unexpected news spread through the village. One of Marcus's long-lost ships had appeared again in the harbor. The news arrived like warm air in the middle of winter. When Marcus told his family, the cottage suddenly filled with excitement. The older children forgot their recent hardship almost instantly. They spoke of returning to the city, of new clothes, of parties and comfort. In their eyes, the future had brightened again. Marcus tried to remain cautious, yet even he felt a small flicker of hope. If the ship's cargo was intact, if he could sell it, perhaps the family could begin again. Before he left, Marcus asked each child what gift they wished for from the city. The answers came quickly: silk shoes, fine hats, velvet cloaks, jewels that glittered. They spoke as if hardship was already over. Only Elena remained quiet. When Marcus turned to her, she thought for a long time. Then she said softly that she wished for only one thing: a rose. She explained that roses did not grow in their region, that she had only heard stories of them. Their gentle scent, their delicate colors. If her father could bring her a single rose in any shade at all, she would be happy. Marcus chuckled at the simplicity of her wish and promised he would bring one. The next morning, he set out. Elena carefully packed provisions into his saddlebag: bread, fruit, and small comforts for the journey. When he rode away, she stood outside the cottage door and watched until he disappeared down the sunlit road. A strange unease stirred in her chest, but she didn't speak of it. At the port city, the truth arrived quickly and cruelly. Yes, the ship had returned, but the news had spread too fast. Marcus's creditors had acted before he could reach the docks. By the time he arrived, the cargo had been claimed to settle owed debts. Marcus hurried from one merchant to another, begging for more time, for one chance, for any small mercy, but none was given. By evening, Marcus left the harbor empty-handed. No money to invest, no gifts for his children, no bright future waiting in the city. Heavy with disappointment, he refused to stay the night. He mounted his tired horse and turned back toward home, not knowing that this journey would lead him to a turning point no one could have imagined. Marcus rode away as the sun began to tilt west. The road grew quieter with each mile. The air cooled. At first, the sky was still clear, the trees standing peacefully in the fading light. But soon the wind shifted. A damp chill crept into the air. Gray clouds gathered, swallowing the last warmth of the day. Marcus sensed a storm approaching, but by then it was too late to turn back. Night fell quickly. Rain began in scattered drops, then became heavy. Relentless, thunder rolled closer. Lightning split the sky, briefly revealing the muddy road ahead. Marcus's horse grew restless, snorting and stepping too quickly. Then a sharp crack of thunder burst overhead, and the animal panicked. Before Marcus could steady it, the horse bolted off the main road and plunged into the dark forest. Branches whipped Marcus's cloak. Wet leaves clung to his face and shoulders. The wind howled between tall trees, and Marcus could no longer tell where he was. Time passed in chaos, rain, wind, pounding hooves, until through the storm's grey veil, a high stone wall appeared. Marcus urged the horse closer. An iron gate stood slightly ajar. No lanterns, no voices, no sign of life. But behind the gate, a paved path led inward into darkness. With no other choice, Marcus pushed the gate open and guided the trembling horse inside. At the end of the path, a massive chateau emerged. High stone walls, tall dark windows, an imposing shape in the storm. Fear tightened Marcus's chest, yet he knew he could not survive the night without shelter. He tied his horse in a sheltered alcove and approached the great front door. He knocked. He called out. Only thunder answered. Taking a deep breath, Marcus pushed the heavy door open. Inside, silence waited. A vast entry hall opened before him. Curved staircases, suits of armor standing like watchmen. Far ahead, A warm glow flickered under a doorway. Marcus followed it. He entered a comfortable room where a fire burned brightly and a table was set for one, bread, roast meat, a carafe of drink, and yet no one was there. Marcus stood listening, only the crackle of the fire and the storm fading outside. Hunger rose. Exhaustion weighed down his body. At first he meant to take only a little, but warmth and food softened his caution, and soon he ate his fill. Afterward, Marcus sank into a chair by the fire. Heat wrapped around him. His eyes grew heavy, and with the storm's sound fading into the distance, Marcus fell asleep, not knowing this silent shelter was the beginning of a story that would change everything. Morning came in pale light. Marcus woke to quiet air and grey daylight filtering through tall windows. The fire had burned down to ash, leaving only a faint warmth behind. For a moment, he forgot where he was. Then memory returned and embarrassment followed. He had entered without permission. He had eaten a stranger's meal. He had slept in a stranger's house. Feeling ashamed, Marcus decided to leave as quickly and quietly as possible. He crossed the wide entry hall, passing the silent suits of armor. He pulled open the heavy front door, and misty morning air rolled in. The storm had passed. The courtyard lay calm beneath a thin veil of fog. Marcus led his horse along the stone path toward the gate, and then he saw them. In the garden, near a pergola overgrown with vines, a rose bush stood in full bloom. The roses were stunning, soft, bright, alive. Their petals held beads of dew that caught the morning light. In that instant, Marcus remembered Elena. He remembered his promise. He hesitated. Part of him knew it was wrong to take anything from this place, but another part, wounded and desperate, longed to bring his daughter at least one small gift. After such a painful journey, at last he stepped closer. He drew a small knife and carefully cut a few blossoms. One rose, then another, until a small bouquet rested in his hand. As Marcus turned, a cold awareness slid up his spine. Someone was watching. He lifted his head and found himself facing a tall, powerful figure. A man with a severe, fearsome presence, broad shoulders, a rough, shadowed face, eyes sharp and furious. His name was Julian. "What do you think you're doing?" Julian growled. Marcus froze, clutching the roses. He stammered an apology, explaining he thought the chateau was abandoned, that he never meant to offend, that he had taken the roses only for his daughter. Julian listened without moving. "I could have overlooked the meal," he said. "I could have overlooked the night you spent in my home, but these roses," his voice deepened, "this is my most precious rose bush. There is no other like it. Each bloom is priceless to me." Marcus lowered his head. He admitted he had nothing to offer. His fortune was gone. His pockets were empty. Silence stretched between them. Then Julian spoke again, slow and certain. "Then you pay in another way. Marcus looked up, understanding that his life had just turned onto a new path. "You will stay here and work until your debt is repaid," Julian said. Marcus protested. He had children at home. He could not abandon them. Julian's voice remained calm, unyielding. "If you cannot stay, someone from your family must take your place." Marcus felt dizzy. He begged for time. Julian turned back toward the chateau. "I give you 1 week. Return with your replacement. If you do not, I will find you." And with that, Julian disappeared into the stone house, leaving Marcus alone in the garden, the roses heavy in his hand and fear settling into his bones. Marcus rode home beneath a bright sky that felt out of place. Birds sang. Sunlight touched the road. The world seemed peaceful. But inside Marcus, everything was heavy. When he arrived, his children rushed out, excited, searching his bags for gifts. Marcus said nothing. He simply offered each child a rose. Elena took hers with quiet delight, breathing in its scent. But the others were disappointed. That night, around the small kitchen table, Marcus told them everything. The lost ship, the storm, the chateau, and Julian's demand. The older children complained, frightened and angry. Eleanor listened silently. Then, after a long pause, she spoke. "Father, I will go." Marcus refused, but Elena's reasoning was steady. He was needed at home. She was capable. So, in the days that followed, Elena packed modestly. She pressed her rose between the pages of a book as a reminder of why she was leaving. And on a clear morning, Elena set out with her father. At the chateau gate, they stopped. Marcus's heart ached, but the time had come. The door opened, and a boy stood there, curious and calm. His name was Noah. He looked at Elena, then at Marcus, and asked plainly, "Is one of you the new servant?" Marcus nodded and explained that Elena would stay. Noah accepted this as if it were entirely ordinary. He opened the door wider and motioned Elena inside. Elena looked back once more. Marcus stood beyond the threshold, holding the reins tightly, unable to speak. Then Elena stepped forward, and the heavy door closed behind her with a deep, echoing sound. Elena's first night in the chateau was quiet. A tray of simple food appeared at her door. Bread, soup, warm tea. The fire crackled. Exhaustion pulled her gently into sleep. She dreamed of a dark hallway and a shadowy figure turning toward her, and woke to morning light. Later, Elena met Julian. He was stern but fair. He asked about her skills, then placed a ring of heavy keys in her hand. "These keys open most rooms," he said. "You will manage the household as you see fit. I do not like to be disturbed." Then, after a pause, he added, "Dinner is at 7. Elena nodded, and so her new life began. Days passed slowly. Elena cleaned the vast halls in small sections, one room at a time. Noah helped her, cheerful and light on his feet. The kitchen began to feel alive again as Elena cooked warm, simple meals. She discovered the library, endless shelves, ladders, books open in quiet stacks. Julian spent many hours there, reading and researching in silence. Sometimes Elena brought him tea. Sometimes he invited her to sit by the fire. Their conversations were few, but gentle, like quiet steps on stone floors. Autumn faded into winter. Snow covered the courtyard. Wind sang in the unused passages. Elena noticed Julian's kindness, how he gave food and coins to the poor, how he never spoke cruelly, how his loneliness hid beneath his sternness. Elena wrote to Marcus, reassuring him that she was safe. Then a letter arrived. A wedding in the village. Marcus asked Elena to come home briefly. Julian agreed at once. And when Elena left, the chateau fell into a deeper silence. Julian read less. He ate little. The rooms felt colder. When Elena returned, she found disordered dust, books scattered, fire neglected. Without questions, she restored warmth and rhythm. That night, Julian spoke softly, almost unwillingly. When you were gone, the house felt emptier than I expected. Elena did not rush to answer. Perhaps, she said gently, because it had grown used to living again. Spring arrived. Another wedding came, and Elena felt torn. This time Julian offered to accompany her. Noah helped arrange a simple new suit for Julian, clean, modern, dignified. They travelled by carriage beneath bright leaves and singing birds. But in the village, whispers rose. People stared, laughed behind hands, spoke cruelly. Elena stood at the center of the gathering and spoke clearly. I thought you were good people, but I was wrong. This man beside me is kinder than anyone here. If I had to choose, I would choose him again and again. And in that quiet moment, without thunder, without spectacle, the curse lifted. Julian's harsh shape softened into his true form. A veil seemed to fall away, and suddenly the world treated him as though it had always been so. Elena and Julian left the village in peace. When they returned to the chateau, the roses were blooming. The courtyard felt warmer, brighter, alive. That evening, candlelight flickered on stone walls. The fire burned steadily. At twilight, Elena and Julian walked into the garden. Crickets sang. The sky deepened into blue and violet. Beneath the rose-covered pergola, Julian opened a small velvet box. You were the first person who truly saw me, he said. Not what I seemed to be, but who I was becoming. Inside lay a ring with a deep blue stone. If you wish to stay here, not from duty, not from debt, but because we have chosen one another. Elena smiled and nodded. Time passed. The chateau changed slowly, rooms opened, windows cleaned, laughter returned. Before summer ended, Elena and Julian were married in the courtyard, beneath roses and open sky, with only those who mattered most. And now, as this story comes to rest, you can let the images fade. You don't need to remember every detail. You don't need to follow the story any further. Let everything soften, like candlelight at the end of the night. There is nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to do. only sleep, waiting patiently for you to drift into it. Good night.